The Denver Broncos may pass on placing the franchise tag on this star defender. One of the biggest storylines for the Denver Broncos as we approach free agency is what's going to happen with star interior defender Dre'Mont Jones. Jones is set to be an unrestricted free agent, and to this point, the Broncos have not been able to work out a long-term deal with him. Dre'Mont Jones is somebody that I believe the Broncos need to invest all of the resources that they can into keeping him in the building. It's not easy to find stud-level production as an interior defensive lineman, so when you have somebody like Dre'Mont Jones, you want to do everything that you can to keep them happy. Ever since being drafted in the third round of the 2019 draft out of Ohio State, Dre'Mont Jones has been a really steady presence on the Broncos' interior defensive line. He has accrued 76 solo tackles, 38 QB hits, and 22 sacks across 56 career games, including 29 starts. Last season, he led the team in tackles for loss with 9 and sacks with 6.5, despite finishing the season on injured reserve with a hip injury. Since the Broncos have struggled to strike a long-term deal with Jones, both fans and media alike have started to float around the possibility of the franchise tag. However, according to Broncos insider Mike Kliss, Denver is not expected to consider tagging Jones until the March 7th deadline. Even then, Kliss continues, they may pass on that in hopes of them working out a long-term deal by the March 13th through 15th free agent opener. The Broncos do love Dre'Mont, but they may not love him so much that they place a franchise tag on him and pay him $18.94 million as a defensive tackle, or even higher $19.73 million as a defensive end. You have to imagine that Jones will want to be paid as a defensive end and tagged as a defensive end if they have to go that route so he can get more money. Currently, the Broncos only have about $12 million in available cap space. They can create some more through various restructures and cuts, but it still might not be enough to consider putting the franchise tag on Dre'Mont Jones. We might just not have the money. According to SpotTrack, on the open market, the 26-year-old Jones is projected to garner a 4-year, $68.5 million deal, which averages out to $17.1 million in average annual value, which would make him the league's 6th highest paid defensive end. Mike Kliss says that it figures to be a very close and down-to-the-deadline negotiation with Dre'Mont Jones. As mentioned earlier, the Broncos do like him, but they may not like him at almost $20 million in average annual value. I'm curious, Broncos country, what would you do in this situation? Would you give Dre'Mont Jones the money that he's looking for, or would you go down a different route on the interior defensive line? Drop those comments down below. I would love to hear from you. Be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. I would really appreciate it, guys. Those are 2 free and easy ways that you can show your support. It helps tell YouTube to push us out to fellow members of Broncos country just like you and me. And for now, guys, this has been another episode of Denver Broncos Syndicate. I'm your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.